So we'll start with a roll call check-in. Asher Henricks,
Here.
Kathy Murray,
Here.
Emma Cornwell,
Here.
Counselor Dubs,
Here.
Amy Lawton,
Here.
Jenna Perna Elias,
Here.
and Sydney Meininger is going to be a few minutes late. And here, all right, it's great showing. So any public comment? Ben, directed at you as the one member of the public present. Thanks for being here today. All right, so the minutes from December 9th. Oh, you do have something.
I hadn't planned on it, but just occurred to me that this is a perfect time to mention that the library's Accessibility Advisory Board is meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. So anyone is welcome to join us. We'll be in the Watson room in person, and there is a link on Zoom. If you sign up from the event on the library's event calendar, it will send you that link, the Zoom link automatically, and I can also throw the Zoom link in the chat.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Sydney. We're just getting started. Great. So the minutes from the December 9th, 2025. Oh, and Happy New Year, everybody. We're in 2026. Woohoo! Thank you, Court, for doing the minutes for the meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Counselor Dubs, thank you, makes a motion to approve. Is there a second? I see Sydney and Kathy, double approval, second approval. Thank you both. So we'll do a roll call. Oh, sorry. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on that. Jenna Perna Elias?
I'm gonna abstain since I was not at the last meeting.
Yes, thank you. I just remembered that. Amy Lawton?
Yeah.
Asher Henricks?
Yes.
Kathy Murray?
Yes.
Emma Cornwell?
Yes.
Counselor Dubs?
Yes.
Sydney Meininger? Thumbs up will do if we can't, if your audio is not awesome. Sydney votes yes, and I vote yes as well. Thank you all. And Counselor Dubs, a report from City Council, any updates on anything going on with disability stuff, and congratulations on being sworn in and being appointed to the Disability Commission again.
Yes, thank you. That was going to be part of my update. Because we haven't actually had our first meeting yet. As first meeting is tomorrow, Thursday, for our second term or my second term, and with the new council because we have 5 new councilors, so it's a pretty big change on the council. So yes, I was reappointed to the Disability Commission. Another commission that I'm pretty excited about is I was appointed to the Transportation and Parking Commission. Which will make which I'm hoping is going to keep me a lot more knowledgeable about the things that are happening in the city in terms of sidewalk repairs, all that stuff. And Donna Lascalia is also on that commission as well as the chief of police. So I'm looking forward to kind of having a more regular communication with them. Yeah, and at that moment, that's basically all I have to update right now until we have our first meeting on Thursday.
Thank you. Yeah, congratulations. Those are both fantastic.
Thank you. I'm pretty excited about it.
Great. And so Amy Lawton, probably everyone remembers this, but is our representative to the Human Rights Commission. And I learned after requesting this to be on our agenda that they haven't had a meeting since our last meeting. So thank you, Amy, for in the future being able to share anything that's pertinent. But she and I emailed, and so there is nothing for today because they haven't had a meeting since our last meeting. So we are done already with the first 5 agenda items. Look at us, look at us go. All right, so the next one is just checking in about the PSA for the snow removal. 5 of us have done recordings, so I just wanted to confirm the other 3 folks are definitely not doing recordings or will be still sending a recording to either myself or Court to pass on. And I don't mean to put anyone on the spot. It's totally legit to either choose to record or not record. There's 0 pressure. So you don't even have to say who you are if you don't want to. That is totally fine. One person already said they weren't going to do it, and we know that. So how about this? If I don't see anyone unmuting, so if you still want to do a recording and you haven't, send it to me or Court in the next, let's say by Thursday, so in the next 2 days. And if I don't get anything, or if Court doesn't get anything, then we'll know that you don't want to do the recording. And then at that point, Counselor Dubs, maybe I'll send you an email just to confirm next steps. I'm assuming I'm going to send each of the recordings to the person at Northampton Open Media, and then we can take it from there.
Yeah, that sounds great. Do you have Zach's contact information, or do you want me to send it to you?
If I don't, I will ask you for it. I'm not sure if corresponded with in the past or not. So I'll check and I'll reach out.
And I'll on Thursday, so I can remind him on Thursday also. Yeah.
Heads up that it's actually happening.
Yeah, definitely. It's really great.
Exciting. So exciting. Great. So that'll be happening in the next few days. We'll pass the recordings on, and so then hopefully they'll be faster than we've been. Faster than, what is it, like a year or something? So then they'll do their stuff, and if they have questions, then we'll figure it out from there. But wouldn't that be exciting if we could get this out this winter and actually have this out on Northampton Open Media and have social media saying, hey, this exists, shovel your sidewalks. So along with these awesome inserts, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
So very cool. Yeah.
Oh, if I could just chime in real quick, I want to let you know. Multiple people have told me that they got the note from the Disability Commission and that they appreciated it a lot. So it is. I think it's working so far.
Great. I'm so glad that you've gotten that feedback.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yep, rippling out. Yep, here we go. Okay, so we get to talk about Disability Pride Month for 2026 and what we want to do. So 3 years ago, we did a crip camp at the senior center in the month of July. And 2 years ago, we did an online resource fair, and we had, I don't remember the number, 10 or 12 people come from different entities, organizations, nonprofits, to speak about kind of their piece of what they offer to people in the disability community. And it's recorded, and it is on Northampton Open Media. And there's a link on our site, on our website, the city's website. And then last summer, we did a movie showing and we coordinated with Amherst and East Hampton and their commissions so that they each showed a movie. So then there were 3 movies that we kind of advertised together. Um, so opening the floor to ideas of what we might want to consider for this summer. And so this right now is brainstorming. So, all ideas out on the table. Yeah, Asher.
Actually just had a question, which was what was there one, because I'm relatively new, so I've only seen the film festival. Was there one of those that was more well attended than others? Just thinking about like if there's something that was more useful to the community or like that folks were really excited about, that might be something to consider doing a version of. So I was just curious. Yeah.
It's a great question.
Was it possibly the Crip Camp one was pretty? It's well attended as I recall correctly.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's where we just did it solo. We didn't coordinate with other folks. There were, I don't remember, 20 people. I mean, nothing has been like 100 people. Um, and then I don't remember how many people attended I have to look back at my notes. The resource fair.
Oh, I don't remember how many, but that was also a pretty good turnout. Though, like I don't know if I know exactly how many though.
But it was probably more like a dozen people.
And that was on Zoom. Yeah.
And it was on Zoom, so we don't know how many people have watched since then. And then this summer, I went to the East Hampton showing, and they had a pretty good turnout. They probably had 15, 18 people, something like that. Um, ours, Asher and Counselor Debs, you were at ours where there were was smaller, 10
Yeah, it was like 5 or 10, maybe. Yeah.
outside of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know about the Amherst. Does anyone have a number for the Amherst?
Probably like a dozen.
Okay. So, if we're coordinating with others and counting those numbers, then there's more reach. I don't know if that's legitimate or not.
At the Amherst one, there were some students that seemed like they were there from a class, which I thought was cool. And maybe somewhere we can target this year when advertising whatever event we choose.
Great idea. That's a fantastic idea. Yeah. I mean, because we could hit all 5 colleges for any students who are here in the summer. Yeah. So, any ideas? Yeah, Amy?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it might be a goofy idea, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Um, I know some libraries do like sign language family story time, and I was thinking that could be expanded to be family story time that's like ideally like fully accessible, right? Like I know that's kind of an ideal that you can't get to, but essentially, disability family story time.
Can you flesh it out more? Like, what that look?
Um, s- so the one that I'm familiar with, is the sign language story time kind of like thing, right? Is that it's just regular story time, kids and parents come to the library, sit around in a circle, and read a story, and then someone's signing it, and it's just not a resource that people usually have access to. But I was thinking about how I have these nieces and nephews who have so many different sensory triggers that make their parents nervous about taking them somewhere, right? And so like sign language is great, but if we could also like promise like it's going to be scent free, right? No one's going to be wearing fragrances, or you know, comfortable lighting, comfortable whatever. Get some people to consult on that, and then have um books that are like within the theme, books that are about people who have disabilities, books by disabled authors, and really center um not just children with disabilities, but children who are learning to talk about how their parents are disabled and how, it's not weird that mom's in a wheelchair because everyone knows a mom in a wheelchair. Um, I just think you could string a couple of those together and just have a really cool event. And it would also be a really good platform for talking about, like a lot of people don't realize that fragrance-free environments are important. Um, so like that would even just be getting the message out there that like for some people that's a really important accommodation. And if we can like sort of have that discussion, I think that would be really helpful and be a side benefit to even having the event.
I love that. That's so cool. Such a neat idea.
I think it would be really fun. I mean, this is something I'm pitching something I would love to be involved in. So
Yeah,
you don't all have to like it, but give some thought.
yeah. No, I think that's a very cool. Oh, look, and we have someone from the library here. Would a library be open to such an event being held at a library, perhaps?
I mean, given that this kind of thing happens at libraries all the time, yes, definitely. I think the question is how would we differentiate it and make it something super special?
Mm,
And I'd say that the at least here at Forbes Library, while we're like always looking for ways to make things more accessible, um, the idea of having a themed story time is less common. So, like, sure, some stories with um, disabled folks come up now and then, but I don't think they ever advertise it as like a theme. And we certainly could do that. I shouldn't speak too much on behalf of our children's department, but I just put in the email address in the chat there. And I think that we have people who would be very excited here to take part in this. Like they will not reluctantly agree to this. They will be all in and um, be thinking about how to make it as good as possible. So I would urge you folks to reach out to them.
awesome.
This
Thank you.
might be a place where we could still collaborate with folks in East Hampton and Amherst and things, right? And you just have a whole month of July of like sensory story, like multiply accessible story time for Disability Pride Month, right? Like I really like this idea. Yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
I will also mention that the library is currently doing renovations here at Forbes to get a new programming space. And one of the goals of that programming space is to make it easier for when you like have a kid coming to story time, but they might need, a little extra space or something. And the fact that it's going to be a dedicated children's programming space instead of the community room that's used for everything is particularly meant to address some of these needs.
When will that space be done?
Ah, soon-ish, I feel like, but let me see if I can find an official answer.
Oh, like before July or?
I'd be amazed if it's not open before July, but I'm going to look for an official answer. One moment.
Um, well, and I'm thinking it could, if we coordinate with other towns' commissions, and if they're interested and their libraries are interested, or another space doesn't have to be at the library, um, different dates could be geared towards a different age group, with a book geared towards the littles, or, kind of a medium, or, even like young teens, or um, maybe like 11, 12. I don't know when kids will stop going to events like that. um, yeah,
I feel
Jenna.
like I feel like adults might even show up, like if we did like read like an essay instead of like a full book.
I
Totally.
was gonna say I'm biased because I love libraries so much, but I am just so excited about this. Yeah.
That's awesome. I listened to a podcast. I'm gonna have to remember somehow who it was. Does anyone know she goes by sitting pretty um on found her on Instagram back when I was still using Instagram, which I don't anymore. Um,
Lolo Spencer.
Say that again, Emma.
Lolo Spencer or Lauren Spencer.
Okay. Is
That who you're thinking of?
sitting pretty?
Yeah.
I don't know. It could.
I think it's the same person.
Okay. Okay. She's a wheelchair user and has a young kid. And I think it was her that she interviewed this couple who writes children's books about disability. Anyway, I'll see if I can dig that up. Not that the other libraries won't have all sorts of resources, but so thoughts from folks who haven't chimed in either on this idea or other ideas. I don't mean to funnel us yet. So other ideas. Um, no worry, Ben. I just saw your chat. That's okay. Thank you for looking.
I like this idea. I especially like that it broadens the age range that we're reaching out to.
Yeah, we haven't geared the last few years towards kids in particular. So expanding. We could get Jacob Drew used to sit in on these meetings and he's got kids. Could get his input, see what he thinks of the idea. Counselor Dubs, Emma, Sydney, any thoughts on this idea or other ideas you want to add to the mix?
I think it's a great idea. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. My quietness is only that I'm in excited and in agreement with everyone else.
Same.
Okay, awesome. Sydney, your hand is up. I'm hoping your audio works. If not, I'll look at the chat. I think Sydney might be typing. I like this idea. Okay, thanks for the input, Sydney. Look at that, Amy. You threw something out. It was wholeheartedly loved.
I'm so glad I didn't chicken out. Thank you.
I'm so glad you didn't either. This is good learning for everybody. We need everyone's voices and everyone's ideas, no matter, like whatever you think of them. Like we're working together here to figure it out. And when we have everyone's voices, I think we are way better off. So thanks for that idea. Yeah, so this is cool. So then um thoughts about reaching out to other commissions to work with other commissions on this.
I think it's a good idea.
Good idea?
Yeah, the more the merrier, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Um so we've worked with Amherst and East Hampton. I would like to be able to invite them to our meetings to coordinate all together during our meeting time. It was one of the things that I noticed about the process last year is that it was I I chose to be the point person for coordinating, and it was very time consuming and not efficient. And I think it would make more sense to try to bring um, maybe representatives from each of their commissions to one of our meetings once we get organized and clear on what we're asking for and hoping for. And I can send an initial email out to their chairs to see if this idea is something they want to do. And if it is, then to invite them in to work out all the details of the dates and the spaces and what the books are and the advertising and the flyer and all that stuff. Asher.
Yeah, so please ignore this if it is not useful or you've thought of this already. Part of my job is project management, so I am very like the two so in that framework, the two best ways to get like these three different groups together would either be like a subcommittee where we have subcommittees that are dedicated to coordinating and planning and things like that. Or, like you said, having joint meetings. So, just for what that's worth, having the two, like, those are probably going to be the most efficient because, as you said, having one person trying to run is just, it's so time consuming. And, yeah, so that would be my suggestion for what it's worth. Yeah.
Thank you. And feel free to add your project management knowledge into the meetings anytime. That's fantastic.
Absolutely. Be careful what you wish for. I will plan things to death. So
Great. Um, my preference is to bring folks into our meeting because what I noticed, and we've tried this the last few years, is to have the subcommittees, and I feel like voices from our commission get left out when it's three or four of us doing the planning. And I think, yeah, I think it's more robust when we all can have a say and think about it and can chime in and move it forward um, that way. So hopefully we have the time to do it that way. Does anyone have any major disagreement, pushback with doing it that way?
no, just sorry, again, like project management, the only risk there is that folks are busy, right? Like, and so it is just a matter. So I would say like from the planning perspective, if we find that people aren't able to make this meeting time, right? Like that's just a possibility that's good to know about. And if that's the case, then I would say we try to pivot sooner than later.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how useful, because sometimes like more documents are just less helpful, frankly. So I don't know how useful being super formal about it would be, but it is possible to avoid voices getting like there's ways to deal with that too, right? So um
Mhm.
just to say that like if we run into a problem where folks can't make this time for whatever reason, then just let me know and I do have other like I know things that might be able to help with that too. So yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. And having things written down in one spot as a go-to resource for everyone on this commission and whoever and the other commissions would be useful. Um, so do we want to stick with Amherst and East Hampton? Are there other commissions that you all want to reach out to, see if anyone else is interested in this?
There's also the Holyoke Disability Commission. I'm friends with the chair, Lynn Horan. I could let her know, and I imagine that they'd probably be interested.
Mhm. Cool. That's great.
Hadley, like I don't know much about. Actually, does Hadley have a library? Oh, yes, they do. Yes. Yes. Okay. It's very small, I think. But yeah, I just realized. Yeah. So maybe Hadley as well.
Yeah, I've never come across anyone from their commission. Has anyone here? Is that
No.
anyone from? Hmm.
I also don't know anything about their commission, but I do know the librarian in Ashfield, and I feel like she would be super into doing something with us. I know that's further out there, but
Awesome. So let's since we have time, look at us, 4:36. Um, let's brainstorm, just kind of sketch out possible sketching out of what this might look like. Like, are we talking about a weekly event? Are we talking about one in Northampton, one in each of the other towns? Um, Monday through Friday? Um, Definitely at a library, not at a library, a place that that public transportation can get to. Like, so, let's just start brainstorming some of those ideas to see what we can flesh out. Jenna, I saw your hand.
I I like have a pitch that we can then pick apart if no one else is feeling.
Go for it.
Right. I think it'd be cool to do like it either weekly or bi-weekly. And maybe since we do have two libraries, we could spread it across the two if both of the libraries feel like they can accommodate. And then actually, I don't know what public transportation is like for Lily, but I know that for like Forbes, that would check that box. And I think that like in terms of involving other commissions, if we just like kind of solidify what we want it to look like, and then we can be like, we think it'd be cool if other towns want to do this too, come to our like meetings to hear more, but like not necessary, and like we can advertise together if you want, but not necessarily like try to do any planning with them. Just kind of be like, we're doing this thing and you should do it too.
Mhm.
Here are your options. Um, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'll be quiet. Anyone else?
No, I love the weekly idea. And I was thinking too that like this is I fully appreciate the like depending if we go full like all of the commissions from neighboring towns involved in the planning, right? Like that's one track. And then there's the other track where we do just like we're planning our thing and we invite people to join us if they like. Um I really so in my brain there's those two paths, right? No matter what, I love the weekly idea of just like I'm really interested in this idea of like if we could have one story time each weekend at a different library, then it becomes like we could theoretically get repeat attendees, right? Like there's a whole month where your weekend, like for families with kids, right, where your weekend is now, you can just go to different story times, right? Um, I think that one works best if we're planning with other commissions in other towns, so we can kind of like rotate through libraries. Um, so I think so to recap, I'm sort of seeing two paths, right? One in which we really involve other commissions and one in which we don't. And then depending on which one we want to go, then if we involve other commissions, I would love to see like yeah, weekly kind of story times at different libraries in different towns as a way to then like open up that opportunity to people across the region, basically. Yeah.
Ben?
I just want to chime in here thinking about scheduling from the library's perspective. Um, if you are bringing in outside talent, which could be great, you have more flexibility with scheduling. I think there's a good chance that you'll find a lot of librarians willing to do the story times as well. I can't promise for anyone in particular, but if you do, you're going to be very much reliant on when people are available to do those programs. And I think I hear weekends being mentioned, and weekends can be a great time for a lot of people to attend, but they also tend to be harder to staff. And if you're relying on library staff to run a program, might be hard to do on a weekend. And that doesn't mean it won't work out, but I just want you to think about, like, no matter what, if you're doing it at a library, you're going to have to work around the library schedule to some amount. But the more you're relying on library staff, the more that's true. And the more you're bringing in someone from outside, the less reliant you are going to be on the schedule of the local folk staff.
Okay. That's helpful. Thank you.
Also, since it's July, even if we didn't do the weekend, there still might be decent turnout with families because students aren't in school.
Well, and I wonder if we picked different days of the week to try to catch families' different work schedules.
I had a similar thought, Amy. And also if we're trying to like vary potential ages too, it might be more confusing if we did it at the same time each week and then a family shows up again and it's like, oh my gosh, my 3-year-old could not engage with this at all.
It's for preteens. Yep. So if we're doing weekly, how do we interface with other commissions and make room for their schedules and their story times in their towns?
I think the might need to think about that a bit more, but my initial thought is that that's what we would just need to get, like, we would need to, stating the obvious, like, first get people on board, right? Then figure out scheduling with the libraries, then figure out who would want to do which session when. I think would be my like order of operations basically of right. I don't know if we can coordinate before we know if other commissions want to be involved in that, right? Because I think we would need to know. Yeah, that's kind of the first, like, that's the first thing we need to know. And then we can figure out, like, does Northampton Commission want the first Monday and Amherst wants the second Wednesday and Hadley wants the fourth Thursday, right? Like, yeah. So I think we, for planning purposes, would need to just reach out first in order to figure out interest, and then we could schedule or figure out what days in July would be uh, good for libraries first, if that's where we want to hold it, because that's what, like, we would have to know that before we can actually figure out if we can do it, right? And then we could kind of figure out, then we can get the individual people like participating in the story time on board. Basically, we're kind of like funneling from biggest organization to individuals, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, and I just, Ben also pointed out about relying on interpreters and lead time and things too, right? And so like trying to get those dates nailed down sooner would probably be ideal. Yeah.
One of the benefits, or maybe even the goals, I envision as bringing families together who might not otherwise have met, which is one of the appeals of involving other communities and other commissions and coordinating. And I don't know how we, like with the movies of this past summer, there wasn't a lot of cross-pollinating. So people stayed in their own towns. And so I don't know how we encourage that. So just thinking out loud. Yeah, Jenna?
What if instead of what if I mean, the other groups would have to agree to this, but if it was like, okay, each Tuesday there's a book for this age group happening at a different library. So like one of them happens in Northampton, one of them happens in East Hampton, and one of them happens in Amherst or whoever we end up working with. So like that time there's an event each week or most weeks of July for that age group. It's just at a different place. And then we kind of narrow down time. It would only be like 3 times or however many age groups we want to do. We would like have to figure out timing, but it might simplify a little.
So like at the same time, there's an event happening in 3 locations, and each location is geared towards a different age group.
Not what I was thinking, but really like that idea.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Say again what you said then.
No, I think that actually is very smart. I like that a lot.
No, that's what I interpreted.
That would be that cross-pollination. Oh, sorry, Jenna. Yeah.
No, Jen, I would love to hear your real idea.
No, it might not be better than your real idea. It was just that like maybe it's like 3 p.m. on Tuesday is for like, like kindergarten through second grade age range and above. And then like the first Tuesday's in Northampton, the second Tuesday at that same time is in Amherst, the third Tuesday at that time is in East Hampton.
For that
Same age group. Yeah. And then we do that for however many age groups.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep. I'm with you. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But hearing all of the additional logistics, it does kind of feel like we should do less events if we want to do events with other towns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is what's called scope creep. Is there's a name for it, is when you start to be like, this is such a good idea. Let's do X, like all of the more things. And then suddenly, you're drowning. Yeah, but there's like an official name for it.
I like that. Because that the when I said what I thought, when I was repeating what I thought you had said, Jenna, sorry. I was like,
No,
oh
that's just kind of a general, like, as we're so excited about, like, there, I won't get into the weeds. No one else, this is not interesting to other people, but like, you do sort of very strict project plans because it is just a well-known thing that folks like when it's a good idea or when you're trying to like build something out. It's just like, well, what if we also did this? And then suddenly we have an event every day in July and at every library, and then we can't do it. So it's it is more just like being aware of what it, because that, yeah, like having those staged out, like having the same age group at different weeks, would be one way to control scope creep. Another way is to do the thing you said. So it's like either way is controlling the scope creep. It's just that we're just doing the thing as we get excited about this, that there's a name for, right? That folks especially when you're thinking about like budget and just bandwidth and how much can we all take on. Yeah. So it's just something to be aware of more than anything. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And bandwidth is something that this is summer for all of us as well. And yeah, so for stopping the creep, I would suggest we host not more than 2, one at Lilly and one at Forbes, if the libraries agree to be a part of this. If not, we find another location, but we don't have to host every age group. And if we're working with different commissions, then we can look at how many total events and then make sure each age group has an event, at least one event, right? Like we try to spread it out in different towns that way. But that would be my suggestion for us. Any more thoughts? Court, you're laughing.
I'm just smiling. I'm just laughing because everybody went quiet. I think it's good. I think it sounds great. It's exciting.
The hush of the crowd.
The hush of the crowd.
So why don't we give ourselves assignments about reaching out to other commissions? So it sounds like Councillor Dubs, you're willing to reach out to Holyoke to see if they have any interest.
Yes, I will do that.
Thank you. And so specifically, and maybe I can write it up and email it to people who are going to reach out to other folks. So we have as much, so it's not just this nebulous idea and they're like, oh yeah, sure, sounds great. So asking them if they would be interested in hosting 1 or 2 events in the month of July for a book reading and picking an age group and picking a book. And so they would be organizing all of their logistics. What do you all think if we do a flyer? Jenna, I might be looking at you.
Happy to help with a flyer, although I feel like you did a lot of it last year. So we could tag team it again if you want.
Okay. Well, feel guilty just dumping it on you.
Oh no, I don't mind. I
Much.
love Canva.
Okay, awesome. All right. And certainly towns can do their own flyers, but it'd be nice to have a group flyer to help families come to different towns so that, maybe some meeting happens.
This may make it her less likely to do it since she does it for her job, but like the main person who makes content for ServiceNet is on the East Hampton Disability Commission. Like that's the person I know. Like she's in our communications department and she literally like teaches like graphic design at the college in Springfield. So
that's all right. We can see if there's willingness. Awesome. Great idea. I had a thought and it left me. And then is anyone willing to reach out to Hadley?
I did a quick search just now, and it seems like South Hadley has a commission, but I couldn't find anything active for Hadley's commission.
No wonder we haven't met anyone from Hadley's commission. Okay, South. Does anyone want to try South Hadley? Asher, was that a hand?
Yeah, I don't know anybody, but I'm happy to cold email and just see if they're interested. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And Amy, did you want to reach out to Ashfield?
I mean, sure. I don't know anyone there either, but I'm happy to reach out.
Oh, wait, sorry. Who knows someone from Ashfield? Oh, sorry. I mixed. That was you, Jenna? Okay, sorry, Amy. Jenna, would you like to reach out to?
also did a quick search, and I can reach out to the person who works at that library, but it seems like they might also not have a commission. So I don't know. I just know some like the librarian at that library, and I know that she's always looking for new events.
Well, it's certainly something that she could post in their library, and then people from the community um, could come to the events. I don't know if sorry, I'm just thinking off the cuff here. If we want to stick with working with commissions versus working directly with libraries, I might
I
lean towards. Go ahead, Amy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say I would lean towards bringing the commissions in first, just because otherwise it feels like we're going onto their territory and saying, "Well, I'm going to use your library to do something." Um, so I think, extending an invitation is probably um, cool.
Great.
And if a library feels inspired and their town doesn't have a commission, they totally can read a book about disability during July.
Definitely. Good point.
Many, many libraries will already be doing that.
Yeah. Are we stepping on toes, Ben, by doing this?
I mean, I suppose it depends how you go about it, but I can't imagine you will, just,
Okay.
if you take the approach of saying, we would like to have a story time that, achieves the following things and make it clear that you're looking for some sort of collaboration, um, and not, I guess you could bring in an outside program and you could do a collaboration. What I would say you don't want to do is, one, give the impression that you think the library isn't already offering anything good for this, because they probably are. And you don't want to like say we have to do it this way exactly, right? But as long as you're like, hey, we really want to do something special in July. We'd like to talk about what we could do here, some ideas we have. I can't see how that would go wrong with any library.
Great.
I think you could even go in saying, like, you may already be doing this. We would just love to be more involved. We would love to, sponsor it or support it or try to get the word out for it. Um, I think the more collaborative this is, the cooler it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, all right, and I'll reach out to Amherst and East Hampton since I've been in touch with them in the past, and they'll just be on one email. Then let's see. So then, does anyone want to reach out to Forbes or Lily on behalf of the commission? I'm happy to do it as chair, but I don't have to.
I will give the Forbes folks a heads up to expect it, but I do think something should come from the commission
Oh,
and that you
yes,
should have that direct line.
absolutely. Yeah. All right. So I'll reach out to the two libraries and see initial thoughts about how this could work, if collaborating is something they're interested in doing, um, and see, yeah. Okay, so we'll reach out to the libraries, we'll reach out to South Hadley, Holyoke, East Hampton, Amherst commissions, and then that'll give us a lot more information so that then we can start populating a calendar with who is available, what, when, and go from there with more of the finer details. Great. Cool. All right. Yes, Court.
Amy, were you going to write up something that was kind of brief? Yeah, just to send out to people so that everybody's kind of
Yep.
talking from the same. Cool. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yeah, I've got it on my
Oh,
little
good. Okay,
Thank
awesome.
you. But I didn't say it, so thank you, Court. I mean, I didn't, yeah. So I'll send messages out um, to those of us reaching out. And maybe I'll just include everybody so everyone has the same thing, everyone on the commission. Um, just a little blurb, basics, so that we're all on the same page, and asking the other commissions with the same information to see if they're on board. Cool. So I think next meeting we will continue with our own organizing, likely, before we pull people in. So maybe the goal of March, pulling other commissions in with the details then, because that gives us March, April, May, and we should be done with details by May to be able to do flyer, get ASL interpreters. Okay. Does that sound good to folks? Is there anything we're missing? Like any red flags for anybody? All right. Awesome. Other business not anticipated. Yes, Jenna.
Sorry, maybe this goes without saying, but Ben, the library can accommodate a sensitive or like scent-free space, correct?
That is a great question. So yes and no. It depends on how sensitive you are and to what. We are open to the public, and we cannot we cannot determine what people are wearing. We also have various constraints in terms of what we can and can't avoid using in the library in terms of cleaning products and stuff. And, like if it's in that new programming room, we make a point of acquiring, things that are going to off gas the least we can, possibly can when we do a renovation or new construction. But it's going to be a new building, and I mean, it's going to have new construction, and there will be some off gassing inevitably from that. Like, we try hard, but it's not going to be perfect. um, I believe there's a statement about this on our website, which I will try to find.
That's a great question, Jenna. Thank you for thinking of that.
Just something to like chew on between now and the next meeting.
Sorry, say that again.
Just something for us to chew on, like how we want to communicate that if we think we can find a space. I mean, I know that for people who have a lot of allergies and are really sensitive in that way, it's hard to find a space that can accommodate that. Which isn't to say we shouldn't think about if we can, but
right. If anyone here has sensitivities to chemicals or smells and wants to go visit our two libraries, that to just say, oh, no way, or, oh yeah, this seems good for me. At least just one litmus test. Any of us could do that. Yeah. All right. To be continued.
It's possible we'll all end up doing that just individually because we're all nodding. So
yeah. If there's nothing else, then other business not anticipated. Yeah, Court.
So Sarah LaValle from our office here, the assistant director in planning and sustainability, and also runs the Community Preservation Act committee, wanted to let you folks know that there's going to be a new accessible trail that they're just breaking ground on as part of the Boggy Meadow Trail of Fitzgerald Lake, and it's going to be funded through CPA money. It's going to be like almost half a mile long, I guess, out there, and they're going to start construction on it shortly, I guess. So there'll be more information and maps and things on the city's website pretty soon. That stuff hasn't been put up there, but she said, "Oh, you should mention it to the commission and let you guys know." And I'll let you know as soon as there's a link to the to where it is on the city's website, so you'll be able to see what's going to happen out there.
Great. Is this on the east side
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
of, I was
Yeah,
forgetting,
Cook Road or whatever. Yeah, out
Cook
there.
Avenue?
Yeah, yeah, Cook Ave. Yeah, you're right.
So that entrance and it takes you down to the marshy, watery
Hmm.
lake area.
Right. Yep. Yep.
Fantastic.
So,
So
yeah,
that's this spring,
yeah, that'll be the spring. So yeah. So
and there is a parking area and
right, a brand new parking area. Yeah, and it's yeah.
oh, thank you. Tell her thank you for the information if you remember. Anything else? Any other business not anticipated? All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Don't everyone. Just, I mean, we want to keep talking, we can.
I'll make a motion.
Thanks, Emma. Emma Cornwell makes a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
All right, we've got multiple. All right. I think I heard Amy and maybe Asher as well. Okay, very good. Thank you all so much for
Thank you all.
attention and ideas, and have a wonderful night. And see you next month.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.